has 3 days of jail time credit. Thank you.
Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Mr. Dunlap is, in my opinion, still a young man. Obviously, he's had some problems. He's got a history of drug abuse. This particular case, Your Honor, he was at a motel, I believe in Menor. An officer approached him, and he denied being Matthew Dunlap, I believe, and then took off. However, he got about 5 or 6 steps away before the officer tackled him. Unfortunately, the officer did suffer an injury. I guess it was fairly serious, required some surgery. Mr. Dunlap was unaware of the extent of his injury up until just recently at the change of plea. He feels very remorseful for what he did. Mr. Dunlap, Your Honor, Mr. Dunlap has had a job with the union. He hasn't been working because he was just in jail for quite a bit of time. He just got out. I just spoke to him. He said he just has to get reinstated. He can get back to work with a union job doing asphalt and concrete work. I'm hoping the court will consider the joint recommendation for community control here. I think if the court gives him an opportunity on probation, puts the ball in his court, I think Mr. Dunlap has certainly learned a lesson recently after spending a couple months in jail. I think it's cleared his head. He's calmed down a bit, and I think he's more focused, and I think he's going to show the court that he can do what needs to be done. You're going to hear from him in just a second, Your Honor, but again, I think in my talking with him, he's very remorseful for this incident, and I'm hoping the court will consider community control. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I just wanted to let you and the court know that I'm sorry that the officer got hurt. Either way, I'd be, remorseful because I shouldn't have been running away in the first place. I shouldn't even put myself in that situation. I did have a drug problem, but these 90 days have definitely done a lot to my mentality.
What?
I'm a lot more focused, and
Why did you leave Matt Talbot after a day?
that was the Keating Center. And,
Keating, whatever. Okay.
I guess I just wasn't, ready to.
What do you mean you weren't ready? You've been screwing around with drugs on black and white for 17 years. What do you mean you weren't ready?
I mean, my mind wasn't, as clear and focused and as sharp as I am now. I believe these 90 days really did something to my psyche and, my mentality.
During the course of that 90 days, you also got kicked out of jail treatment, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Why?
It was an argument, just a verbal argument, and, I got heated. I wasn't able to, stay calm, and, I believe, that extra 30 days I had a lot more time to, focus on myself and, my flaws.
I mean, you've had a lot of time over the years to focus on your flaws, and it's resulted in more flaws, more trouble, repeated trouble, same thing. You're like a daily version of Groundhog Day. I mean, it's the same goddamn thing all the time. And this time, obviously, if a cop walks up to you and says, "Are you Matthew Dunlap?" he knows you're Matthew Dunlap. And you decide to run, causing his injury. You caused his injury, had to have surgery. Is he back at work yet?
I don't believe so, or at least on light duty.
Okay. So why did you run?
I mean, honestly, I was still using at the time, and, I just didn't want to go back to jail, so I thought I could get away, but obviously not.
Okay. So your problem is you refuse to take responsibility for you. You refuse to do that, and you're not young, okay? Mr. Watson started off this by saying you're still a young man. You're 38 years old, and you haven't grown up at all. And you telling me that these 90 days you just did really focused you is nonsense. Okay, I don't believe you. Okay, if it focused you, then you would have completed Keating and you would have completed jail treatment. Why did you leave Keating? Because you wanted to, right?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
But Your Honor, could I tell you that I left the Keating Center before the 90 days I had in jail, so I was able to clear my mind in jail.
Okay. You make it very difficult for anybody to believe anything you say. How old's your son?
He's 12.
Where does he live?
He lives with his mom's parents and her.
Okay. So how's that going?
Not very good. Just
Why not?
because he's not with his mom and dad.
Why not?
Because my history of drug use.
Okay, he's 12 years old, right?
Yes.
So why are you so selfish that you don't prioritize his needs over yours? As well as his mother. Why are you two so selfish that you keep doing the same thing all these years and now he's 12? What input have you had in his upbringing?
Not a very positive one, honestly, but
Well, so what's the problem with his upbringing then?
I mean, it's just me. I haven't. He hasn't had like a positive, male figure in his life.
What about his grandfather?
He's not the best.
He's not the best.
No.
Apparently he's better than you because he's the one raising him, not you. What grade is your son in?
He's in 7th grade now.
Okay. What are his grades like?
I mean, he tested gifted and, like the state test and everything, but he still got D's and F's.
Okay. How long has that been going on?
I mean, he was getting good grades, but I feel like, I've been locked up since he started school. I haven't been able to help. I know that I'm not the best teacher, but
How is it that you would be able to help him if you're always getting strung out on drugs?
I mean, when I'm getting strung out, I'm not very much help.
Okay,
for
why
him.
don't you stop doing that?
I'm going to.
You're going to. Why haven't you stopped yet?
I have stopped.
He's 12 years old.
I guess that's just me being selfish.
Right. Or being unwilling to change, or being unable to change, or all of the above. What else you want to say?
I'm really going to do it this time, and I really hope that you go with the prosecutor's recommendation for probation, because I feel like I could really, change this time, and I'm not going to be in front of.
I don't
you
even
again.
think you believe what you're telling me.
No, I do.
I don't think so. You seem very, very much insincere. Have a seat. Ms. Bell?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would ask that you adopt the joint recommendation in this case for community control sanctions. The state would also recommend NeoCap. Thank you.
What happened to your case in Minnesota?
Well, I believe the statutes of limitations expired, so I don't think there's anything going on out there. It's been over 4 years, 5 years almost.
4 years. What happened there?
Basically, somebody I was with, we got caught with drugs, and I ended up doing a day in jail, and then I think there was just too much going on out there at the time, and they released me the next day, and
And that's
I
the
never heard-
and
I
that's the
never
last
heard-
you ever heard of it?
yeah, I've been checking like the warrant list and everything, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure that it was a statute of limitations. It's only 3 years for that felony.
So this was like 6 months or 7 months after you got released from prison here.
Yes.
What were you doing in Minnesota?
I went out there to get, just for a geographical, change, but obviously, you know, it doesn't matter where you live, you can find drugs anywhere,
Right.
or they're gonna find you if you're looking.
Now, you're gonna find them. They don't have the ability to get some legs and find you. Okay? You find them. You do that very well. Why do you, you've got the ability, at least by your own report here, that you told probation, to work and make $38 an hour. What do you do with all your money? Spend it on drugs, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation. I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. This is a felony 5, and I can send you to prison because you've been to prison before on a felony 5. Apparently you haven't learned too much since that stint in prison, because you keep doing the same thing over and over. But I'm going to accept the joint recommendation. I'll put you on community control for 4 years. You're going to serve 90 days in jail with credit for 3. After that, you're going to go to NeoCap. You're going to complete that program and follow all the recommendations. You'd have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. Is there a restitution?
No, Your Honor.
You see only 1 doctor and 1 dentist and 1 pharmacy for prescription medication. You take your medication as is prescribed. Sign releases so probation can get any records. You have a question?
So I have to do 90 days in jail and then NeoCap?
Yeah. What?
Your Honor, I'm looking at you like a man. I'm ready to stay sober. I'm
Okay.
ready to do the right thing.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. What you say doesn't mean anything. You caused,
let me-
you, by your actions, caused this injury to this officer who had to have surgery, and he's still not back to work. What I should do is send you to prison for 12 months. Would that be better than 90 plus NeoCap?
No, Your Honor.
No? Well, why should you absolve yourself of any penalty whatsoever for causing this guy to have knee surgery?
I'm not saying that I shouldn't get a penalty for it.
What should the penalty be? What should the penalty be?
I'm not. You're the judge.
Right.
So
But you think my penalty is onerous and there should be some other penalty. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking me these questions.
I'm asking you, Your Honor. I'm doing the right thing right now. I've been out for almost 2 weeks. I'm sober right now. Put me on probation, please. And
I did put you on probation. Now I'm second guessing whether I should have put you on probation.
Let me show you through my actions that I could do probation, and I will not be in front of you ever again.
I put you on probation. Didn't I just put you on probation?
You did.
You want probation with no penalty. You want probation with no accountability for what the injury you caused to this officer by your stupid actions. That's what you want. That's your definition of probation. Ain't my definition of probation. I mean, you've been around the block enough to know this. But you just want what you want. What you want is to be able to walk out of here today without any penalty for what you did, which clearly indicates to me that it ain't going to be very long before we're back here with a violation. That's what it indicates to me. You're going to get a mental health evaluation. You're going to follow all recommendations. You're going to obtain and maintain full employment. You're going to pay the costs and supervision fees. Anything else, Ms. Henley?
Your Honor, we were recommending a MAT evaluation.
Isn't he been on drugs to prevent being on drugs for a long time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the value of that? Has that worked so far? What kind of drugs you've been on to keep you off drugs? Methadone? What else?
Suboxone.
How'd that work out?
it worked out well for a while. and
Listen, I don't really give a shit what you do, okay? If you want to stay off drugs, then figure out how to stay off drugs, okay? I've given you terms you have to comply with, okay? If you think this nonsense about methadone is the way to go, then you talk to your probation officer about that, okay? But it hasn't worked for you, so what you've been doing since 2008 ain't working. Do you have any question about the terms? Other than you're very unhappy about them?
No.
Okay, if you violate, the state will file a motion to terminate, and if I find you violated, I'll terminate you and send you to prison for 12 months. Anything else, Ms. Bell?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Watson?
Just briefly, Your Honor, I believe my client had posted a bond on this case.
It's released.
Thank you, Your Honor.